My name is Moses Bagiire Blessing, a teacher for physical education at Bagiire Secondary School. Here we are. I'm with Mr. Lulya. Denis is going to tell us the subject he teaches here at Bagiire Secondary School. Mr. Lulya, tell us.
Thank you, sir. My name is Lulya Denis. I'm a teacher of chemistry and mathematics.
Yeah, I'm glad meeting you here, Mr. Denis Lulya, a colleague, a friend, in doing this work of inspiring the youngsters to see that they can survive and complete the lower secondary education. Now, Mr. Lulya, I have some few questions during this dialogue or an interview whereby we want to discuss and come up with some ideas. Now, here at Bagiire Secondary School, we have the major challenge that is trying to hinder the completion of our students at the lower secondary education or level. And this major challenge, you're well versed with it, which is the negative learning and teaching environment, both within and outside the community. I have some few questions I would like to ask you, Mr. Lulya. And the first question is, what are some of the biggest problems related to this challenge? As you have ever experienced this, we're in the same environment. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. First, I will commend you for identifying such a challenge, because it is very big. It is becoming actually a challenge. When you fail to solve it, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So when you look at the situation we are teaching in, you realize that it is becoming a very big challenge for both the teachers and the learners, and more so when it comes to the attitude of the people around.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the attitude, of course, we cannot say the positive one, but we mean the negative one. So we experience such a challenge both within school and outside, because outside school we have parents who have to facilitate for each and everything for their children. But when you try to sit and analyze, you realize that most of the children we have, they are having a challenge. Parents are not meeting their obligations.
Okay.
So you realize that the kids are not being given all the necessities they want or they need at school. So it is a very big challenge to the learners. Then when it comes to teachers, more so, I'll talk about Bagiire because it is the place where I teach.
Where we are, yeah.
Now, when you look at the way we are doing things, the curriculum is new and it requires students and even teachers to make research.
Yeah.
But when you look at the facilities we are having, you realize they are not favorable. So we lack facilities for making research, more so when it comes to computers.
Yeah, being in an era of digital migration,
yes,
to this era of research and
so you realize that there is a big gap. We don't have such facilities to do that. You get it? So you realize that we face a very big challenge here, and it makes the teaching and learning environment not to be pleasant.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Denis Lulya. We are going to be a little quick for the interest of time. I know you have lots of information you'd like to share with us and share with the Enable team to see how we can come up and we find solution that are sustainable. Sustainable solution is for this challenge.
Yes.
Now, the next question I would like you to share with us about is what are the most urgent needs where a small change has a big impact, according to the way you see things here in the Bagiire Secondary School?
Yeah, here mostly we need a facility and in form of a computer lab.
Okay.
Because which is functional. Because when you look at now, we cannot say we don't have some, but the ones we are having, even they are not even functioning. By the way, when you try to go, they don't have internet. I don't know whether the connection is the ones that
and even being too old, some are fault already.
So we need a facility. We need a computer lab that is functional, that we can be sending our learners together with us. We go, we make some research. Remember, we have some new interventions. You get it? Yeah. But now when you look at the facility we are having, it is not working at all. So we need a facility here that can simplify the things on both sides of the learners and and the teachers.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Lulya. I still have some more questions for you.
Okay.
And the next one is, what solutions already exist, and how have you experienced these challenges in your own life?
Okay, like when you asked about the challenges and there is a challenge I forgot to talk about.
The problems related to this challenge.
To this challenge.
Yeah.
Now, there is a challenge of late coming for teachers.
Yeah, okay.
But now when you look at the situation that causes that, at times, most of us come from far. And being that we are from far, it means that we needed to travel from those places up to this side.
School,
So, being that the school, at times the schools don't have facilities where teachers can
reside
put up.
from.
So you realize that one becomes a problem, or it becomes a challenge. But now, like here, when you ask about the solutions that have been put in place, Buza SS is trying, at least they have put up some rooms where a teacher can come and put up there for like the days that is going to be here. Then, and that one, it is trying to help to solve that challenge of late coming.
Okay.
Then when it comes to this part of the research work and whatever, you realize that teachers are just cooperating. You know, we are just having some small smartphones. Yes. So when a teacher is handling such a part that needs research, we try to help by giving out our phones to that teacher. Then he goes with the phones to class. Then they use those phones for research. So
the so-called sharing is caring.
So it is
for the teacher to manage the lesson as well as the students to benefit and have the productivity of the research.
Yeah, so that is what we are doing now.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Lulya. How have you experienced these challenges in your own life?
I've experienced it a lot, but I can say it is. I've experienced it, not one time, not two times, but for quite a long period of time. But as you experience it, of course, you need to be optimistic. You need to think of other ways of solving such challenges. Remember, we are teachers. You don't have to show even the learners that you have a challenge of this and that. So you need to be optimistic. You have to think a lot, such that you overcome such a thing. So I've ever experienced it, I can say, but we try our best to see that we overcome such.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Lulya. Just to add some on what you've said, there is what you call the technophobia. We have some of our colleagues who have overstayed in the service, and when it comes to the computer knowledge, they have that fear of getting that. But now, how you as a new teacher in service, because I know you have not yet made 10 years in the service, how have you helped in collaboration with us? I know we have tried our best, but now just elaborate something. How have you done to help such people?
Anyway, teachers, we have such teachers, I can say, they fear. Even if you get a laptop and you give to that person, even just pressing a single button on the keyboard of the laptop, it becomes you see someone even shaking while trying to do that. But of course, nowadays you cannot avoid that. You cannot avoid. Technology is taking over.
So we need to work hand in hand.
We need to work hand in hand with such teachers to see that we also put them in front. We don't leave them behind, because we have very many of them. I can say even here we have some, but we are trying our best, because nowadays you cannot teach without knowledge of ICT. So if you teach without that knowledge, then it means you're doing a disservice to the students. So of course you have to think a lot. You have to think about it, to think about yourself. The errors are changing, okay? Now the era we are teaching in is not like the other one that used to be there. So the curriculum we are handling needs a lot of research, and this research, more particularly, it is made from it is got from ICT. So we are trying hard to talk to these teachers, and more so telling them to access at least the first personal gadget, that is a phone, that they can use, because if you have a smartphone, you already have a computer in your hands.
Okay, thank you so much for that submission, Mr. Lulya. So I have seen the impact. You have already answered the next question I was going to pose. Of the solution is, I can see that we are ever sharing ideas and the knowledge we know with the people who are somehow green about that. Also this technology, because at our end, when we were still in colleges, you remember those old days when you were at National Teachers College, Muni, Narua. So by then, the Belgium Technical Corporation, you know, they had put the facilities for our research library and many other facilities. They made
our work to be simplified.
And as we were learning, we experienced the quality education we needed from the college. So now we can see the future, the light at the end of the tunnel in the lower secondary level of education.
But I request that if they can help, because I know because they helped us in the colleges, but again when we came back at schools, the secondary schools, we are seeing that a lot needs to be done. So if they can at least help like they helped us in the colleges, it would be better. It would be better. It would make the learning environment to be colorful, to be more pleasing to these clients of ours. However, if we move on like this, at times we see that things shall be not moving on well as they used to move on as expected. So we can say that if the government can intervene, they also put in a hand by maybe increasing on the capitation fee and some of the things that are needed at school. So it would make us good.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Lulya. For the interest of time, let's stop here. We shall have more further discussions with the time. I know it has been a fruitful discussion. I like the fact that you are an old student with me, and Obi, whom we studied this course together, and we are trying to impact our youth to see that they can as well get the quality education we got. So thank you so much for this time.
You're welcome.
Yeah.